While people are mistrustful about the vaccines, others have different challenges. Students can change their preferred name by going into Enroll and Pay, under Personal Details, and under Update Name and Pronouns. Any changes to your primary name has to be done to the university registrar. On the fourth floor, you can find the home of Kansas Esports. On these computers, its members play a variety of different games, such as Rocket League, Overwatch, and League of Legends. Thanks, Keegan. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of talking to Mitchell Pettit, who worked for Bob Dole as an aide during the 80s, to learn more about what Dole was like. Let's take a look. What was your initial reaction to hearing that Bob Dole passed away? I'm Tristan Allen, reporting for KUJH News. The Kansas Union, often referred to as the heart of campus, is home to many services, such as the bookstore and KU student ambassadors. On the fourth floor, you can find the home of Kansas Esports. On these computers, its members play a variety of different games, such as Rocket League, Overwatch, and League of Legends. Recent KU grad Danny O'Connell is the program coordinator for Kansas Esports. Growing up, O'Connell first got into esports at the age of 12.
I was always just kind of a competitive person growing up, and I was good at video games, so I just kind of mixed those two together.
O'Connell's experience in esports put him in a strong position to take over the program when he graduated.
And having someone in that position that speaks the language, can understand where we need to go, is really beneficial to the program.
One of the challenges Kansas Esports runs into is making sure players and coaches stay together during academic breaks between play, and not doing so can be detrimental to the teams in the program.
So they kind of almost grow apart, even though the season's still going on, especially in the winter break. That by the time spring rolls around, the team may not be as coordinated or as organized as they have been in the fall.
O'Connell says the best way to confront this challenge is to keep the team involved throughout the year.
We like to scrim one to two times a week with all of our teams, and that is on top of the matches they're playing. If they're not playing any matches, maybe even look to scrim 2 to 3 times a week. Just kind of keep their minds in the game and themselves organized as a team.
This is Tristan Allen reporting for KUJH. The Delta variant of COVID-19 makes getting a vaccine even more important.
You can see that in the states where the COVID deaths are still very high. It's the same states where the vaccination rates are low.
While people are mistrustful about the vaccines, others have different challenges. A June edition of an ongoing survey by the Kaiser Family Foundation found that nearly 10% of Americans haven't gotten the vaccine because of difficulties finding a place to get one, or actually getting to that place. In order to fight the coronavirus, it's important that nobody slips through the cracks. Alan Wells, a driving instructor for Go Driving School in Lawrence, is helping to solve that problem. Lawrence Douglas County Public Health says anybody who can't find a ride should contact Wells to get free transportation to and from a vaccine site. Wells says he's helped around 25 people in Douglas County from various different backgrounds, including people who don't have a car and are not within walking distance, and international students.
It's nice because you meet so many new people and people that, a lot of people that I would never have a chance to meet or even know lived in Lawrence.
The Go Driving School has not noticed any impact on their business yet, but the school didn't mind because it helps out the community.
It's just, it's one of those things you do because, hey, sometimes you have to pitch in for the community and help folks who need the assistance.
This is Tristan Allen, reporting for KUJH News. Often hailed as a politician who reached across the aisle, Robert Dole's passing sparked an outpouring of bipartisan support for the late senator. But what was it like to work with him? I sat down with Mitchell Pettit, who worked for Dole during the 80s, to learn more.
The great thing about working for Senator Dole was that he knew exactly what we knew and what we didn't know, but he gave us a lot of latitude to go out and explore different potential ideas in different subject matters.
Dole's injuries from World War II inspired him to use his influence as a senator to advocate for those with disabilities.
And he said, when I went away to war, I was this college athlete and all of that. I never thought much about disability, people with disabilities. I never thought much about discrimination of any kind. Kansas was not a state that had a lot of African Americans, for example. So, we knew what was right or wrong. And then when I had the reins of power, it hit me. Discrimination against disabled people is no different than discrimination against all other people.
While Dole was in the Senate, he helped pass the Americans with Disabilities Act, which prohibited discrimination based on disability, but he wanted to give back more. Pettit wrote the speech Dole gave when he announced the Dole Foundation on the Senate floor in 1983, based on Dole's recovery from his wartime injuries.
They put at Dawson's Drug the famous cigar box, which is now at the Dole Institute. And people would come by and they would, and I remember writing this, that, somebody would give a nickel. That's all they could give, but they wanted to help in some way. And then, as it turns out, somebody gave a duck because that's all they could give. But anyway, this was a moment in, the middle of the century in small town America where everybody pitched in.
After Pettit left Dole's staff in the late 80s, their relationship grew stronger.
And then particularly as he got older and, was spending more time at home, and, I would go over and spend the afternoon with him and talk about things. And I just don't know that I've been looking for the words to describe how much that relationship meant to me over the years.
What was your initial reaction to hearing that Bob Dole passed away?
Every time in my life, things that would happen in politics or life that were confusing, I'd call him and we would talk, or I'd see him and we talk about these things. And, to lose that in my life, will be profound.
This is Tristan Allen reporting for KUJH News.